What if I told you that one of the most expensive cities in the world, nearly 90% of the population owns their own home, and they didn't need to win a lottery to do it? Meanwhile, in Canada, home prices keep rising, rents keep climbing, and many Canadians feel locked out. So what's Singapore doing that we're not? Hey everyone, it's Vince Lee. I'm a real estate agent in the GTA, and today we're going to dive into this tough question. What can Canada actually learn from Singapore when it comes to housing? Because let's be honest, the current system isn't working for everyday Canadians. And when you see how another country built a faster, more affordable system, it kind of exposes how broken things are here. So let's break it down, no fluff, just facts. In Singapore, housing is treated like an infrastructure, not just an investment. Here's how it works. The government owns about 90% of the land and directly builds homes through the Housing and Development Board, or HDB. So who are the HDB? The Housing Development Board is Singapore's public housing authority. They plan, build, sell, maintain, and upgrade public housing. They operate at scale, building entire neighborhoods, not just isolated units. They offer various housing tiers based on income and life stage. And these aren't just rundown units. They're well-maintained, high-quality flats designed for families with access to transit, school, and green space. Most Singaporeans buy a 99-year lease that is heavily subsidized in terms of price, especially for first-time buyers. If you're a renter, they have public rental options available based on income and not market rent. The result, about 89% of Singaporeans own their own home, and housing is considered a right, not just a privilege. Now, when we compare this to Canada, most of our housing is built by private developers who answer to profit and not public need. We have some subsidized and co-op housing, but it only makes less than 4% of our housing stock. Zoning is controlled by cities, but funding comes from provinces and the federal government. So it's a mess of overlapping priorities. And let's face it, NIMBYism and red tape slow everything down. It could take years just to get an approval to build more homes. So what happens? Not enough supply, prices go up, and renters get squeezed. Ownership becomes a dream that feels further and further away, especially for younger Canadians. So what can we actually take away from Singapore's model? Here are 5 big lessons. Treat housing like a basic need, not a commodity. We need to stop relying solely on market forces to deliver affordability. Build publicly at scale. A Canadian version of HDB could directly create affordable homes across the country. Now, land is the biggest cost in home building. And if the government owns the land, it can set terms that keep prices fair. Streamlining zoning and planning. Our national framework could cut through the red tape and speed up development in high-need areas. We can make public housing more desirable, and not just a last resort, but actually a launchpad. Just like in Singapore, where public housing is part of the middle-class society. Canada's subsidized co-op housing suffers from aging infrastructure, chronic underfunding, and social stigma, with much of the stock built between 1970 and 1990s, and is now facing serious maintenance issues like mold, pests, and out-of-date systems. Now, these homes are often isolated and poorly integrated into communities, reinforcing socio-economic segregation. Unlike market housing, they're frequently treated as budget obligations rather than civic assets, resulting in inconsistent quality and design. While some co-ops offer strong, community-driven models, most face long wait lists and limited government support, making them hard to access and slow to expand. Now, is it realistic to copy Singapore one-to-one? No, our countries are different. But the point is, we can do better, because right now our system mostly rewards investors, developers, and those who already own property, while leaving the rest behind. And if we're serious about making housing fair again in Canada for first-time buyers, young families, our frontline workers and renters, then we need bold solutions, not just band-aids. If you found this helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. What do you think Canada should do to make housing more affordable? And if you need help navigating the GTA market, whether you're buying your first home or looking for a smarter move-up strategy, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help you make confident real estate decisions. Until then, talk to you guys soon. Cheers.